Welcome back to the Daughters of the Moon podcast. We're grateful that you can join us for another week.
We sure are.
And we got our witchy hats on because when this airs, even though we're doing the November reading, it's going to be Halloween. So one of our favorite times of the year. So we thought we'd just get into the spirit of it. So we don't know if we'll wear them the whole time, but we'll see. Anyways, welcome back. And yeah, we're gonna do the cards. So
We're excited about that
we are
too.
excited.
And again, like because it's Halloween, it's spooky time, but it's a fun time
It
too.
is a fun time, and we thought it would be kind of cool to tell one of our spooky stories that we have before we got into the reading. So
Oh, who's going to tell?
I don't know. I was been thinking about which story I could tell because there's just so many spooky little stories that you've had and I've had and stuff over the years. And I think probably one of a spooky and not a very long story was when I was in my last relationship. I was in the house by myself, and my son and I always liked to scare each other. So he'd hide, and because the older one had moved out, so he'd hide, and I'd hide, and we'd scare each other. But this day, I was in the house and I was walking down the hallway, and all of a sudden, I felt like somebody was behind me and they grabbed my arm. And I was like, what? So I went looking all over the house for Philip, and I'm like, where is he? So nowhere to be found. Nope. And so I was like, oh, it's weird. So I said to my ex at that time, I was like, okay, the weirdest thing happened to me today. Like something grabbed me and there was nobody home. And he says, well, it's probably my mom. I'm like, your mom? Why would your mom grab me? Well, when she was alive, she'd always come, and when she'd hug you, she'd always squeeze your arm. So then I had a little discussion with her and just said, if you could just kindly not touch me. If you want to be in the house, cool. But if you want to touch me, please don't. So that's the spooky story I'm going to go
That is a spooky story.
with.
I'm going to tell another spooky
Yeah,
story.
you have lots of really good ones.
When Kim was just a baby, she was only just born. And we lived in this house in the Auburn in Peterborough, Ontario. And anyways, at night, there would be something that come up and down the stairs, and you could hear the footsteps on the stair steps as they were coming up. And I was just young at the time. So when I heard the stairs, I would be scared. The first thing I would do is run in and grab Kim and throw her in bed with me, or not throw her, put her in bed with me and wrap her in my arms because I wanted her to be protected. I didn't have my son yet. And this night, I heard the stairs. I went and got her. I put her in bed with me. All of a sudden, the room got really cold. And I mean, so cold that I was pulling the covers up over our necks, hers and mine, and getting us all snuggled and protecting us. And then I could see my breath. Then the breath came out of me, and in front of me, there was this black figure in a hooded gown looking down at me with a face of a skeleton, but the eyes were dark, real dark. And I grabbed my covers and I put them over my head. And I lay there going, oh, please, dear God, make it go away. Please, dear God, make it go away. You know, all of a sudden I'm laying there and Kimmy's still in my arms and I'm feeling hot, really hot. So I pull the covers back down and it's gone. But it was really there. It was really there. It wasn't the only night that one came. But the first time it came, it was like, why are you coming to my house like this? But the house itself was really haunted. But that was a pretty scary story. I hope it put the hair on your head, arms up, because it sure did for me at the time.
Yeah.
It still does sometimes, but
Yeah.
I actually feel the when I really feel it when I experience it that time.
Yeah.
So
Well,
there's
and it's funny because we have lots of stories. Well, you have lots of stories about the Auburn. So one time, if we're, look, doing a podcast in a row, maybe we'll talk about some of these stories about living in that house because there was a lot of things that went on. I don't remember because I was little, but but it was funny because years later we went back to the Auburn to see it,
I was hoping you were going to tell this.
and it had been torn down, and we had taken Philip, my youngest, and we went there just to kind of, oh, let's feel the energy and
Energy, see
everything.
it.
And we went there, and it was so
Creepy.
creepy. Like you're literally standing there and you could just feel your goosebumps on your goosebumps. And then there was a crow that was
Big.
sitting across on this neighbor's fence and pawing. And oh, it was so crazy. And you could like just see the energies around there.
Even
So
Philip said, "Hey, why is that crow sitting there? Why doesn't it move?" And it didn't, did
it
it?
didn't. So yeah. So spooky stories. So anyways, happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween.
And so now we'll go into our November readings.
Okay, do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay. I usually go first, but
Oh, no.
it's our turn.
Okay, so my cards are from the Mystical Journey Oracle by Tennessee Charpentier. And the card that I picked is called New Dawn.
Ooh.
So I'm going to read, actually, I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to read what she said, and then I'm going to give you my interpretation of it.
Sounds good.
Okay, right after I get the gloss on so you can see. Okay, so the divination is the New Dawn card heralds a time of great change. Perhaps you feel you are stuck in a situation you can't break free from. Ask yourself if you are still happy about where you are in life, or is it time to reassess and move on? Sometimes you may settle into a comfortable situation and not want to leave it. Even though it is not ideal, you feel safe with what you know because it's familiar to you. Maybe this position you find yourself in is a replaying of negative childhood pattern. You are unhappy, but the thought of making any change scares you so much you remain stuck. The New Dawn card encourages you to take a risk, as the next chapter of your life could be even better. By practicing mindfulness, you can slow down and ask yourself what you really want from life, and then work on what is holding you back. Life is about making choices, but sometimes the choices you make are just quick reactions that are not very well thought through. You then believe you are stuck with them. A big red flag this card signifies is the compulsion to act nice and smile instead of facing a situation that may initially need conflict to resolve. The need to be liked can be stronger than living an authentic life. So be true to yourself first and foremost. And it just says the action is make one small comfortable change in your life that you have been thinking about for a while, but haven't yet felt daring enough to implement. Now is the time to be brave. So I think this is really an interesting card. And I think it is really talking about, being scared, and you can kind of see her head rising above the water. And it's like she's peeking out and seeing what's out there that she can go out and venture on, but she's just stuck because she's so fearful. And I think when we're coming from a place of fear, it is really hard to move on. And we were talking today, doing an interview this morning, and it was interesting because the girl kind of reflected about how often, if we're stuck in a situation and we don't make the changes that we know are necessary, then things can happen. So if you're not happy at your job and blah, 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 you might lose your job. You might, something might happen in a relationship, in a job, with money, your health, whatever, that you really don't have a choice to make that change. So I'm really picking up with this card that was came to me forefront of make the changes while you still have the choice to do it.
Good one. I have to go with Kimmy on that one too. The new dawn is, to me, is like a new dawn will come. If you take a risk, sometimes you have to go with that. If your gut keeps telling you and you keep telling you and you're having dreams about it and everything else, is telling you something needs to be looked at inside of you. You need to concentrate on why those things are coming to you and think about why you need to make those changes. Because sometimes even the little changes with it are enough. Sometimes it's a big change that has to come. When the change does come, though, then comes the new dawn. You've taken the risk, you've gone with it, you've worked with it. Now you can open your eyes to the brightness that's around you and the new things that are coming your way. I agree totally with Kimmy with this, because it's like when I see the peacock It tells me that if it stands there and opens up its wings and it's so much beauty around it when you see it, that is what you're looking for in your life that's coming to you is the beauty. If you're suffering from something right now and you're afraid to take the risk because what if, go with it, go slow with it. You'll get the messages you need to get with it to help you move along. But if you keep fighting the situation and going, no, but it's going to change, it's going to get better, you know, reevaluate it. Keep reevaluating it until you've gone through the things that you need to make you go through where you need to be traveling on this plane right now. Because no matter what, Spirit's there for you. They're taking you by the hand to help you walk through this stuff. So let them. Let Spirit do that for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said.
Okay, funny enough, the card I got is Wisdom, I'm sorry, the deck I got is Wisdom of the House of Night. And pretty cool book. It's by Colette Baron-Reid, of course. She's wonderful. And this is the card. And the card I drew was the risk. Funny, because that's what you were just talking about. Okay. My child, you have come to a place where you are being asked to take a risk and try something new and different. Different is good. New is also different and good. Rather than worry about how things will turn out, why not take the leap of faith? No matter what happens, something important will be experienced. This is a sign that you can prove something to yourself, and when you accomplish it, you'll be proud that you did. Another meaning here is to ask yourself about your next action. Is it worth the risk you are taking? If the answer is no, don't do it. If yes, it will give you the wings to fly and will catch you if you fall. This symbol also brings a gentle warning. Your risk shouldn't be motivated by boredom. This is a symbol of consequences as well as courage. So I get with that one too is don't be afraid to take a risk. I mean, you're not going to jump off the side of a mountain because that risk would be you're going to die, right?
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. Unless you have wings, unless you have wings on connected to you, that's not a good idea. So but that's a good sort of start to it where if the risk is too big and you know that it's going to be a demise to you in any way, shape, or form, don't take that risk. But if the risk is going to be, and you feel good about it when you're thinking about taking the risk, should I do this? Yeah, I feel like this would be really good for me and I really need this change. Then take the risk. Because like the other card said, once you do that, the new dawn is there and life opens up to you and you unfold into some really nice things. Your feelings change, your emotions change, everything around you develops to be such a warm and wonderful feeling. So if you've been living in a dread and fear and things like that, now your wings have opened up so that you can experience all the beautiful things that you should be experiencing in life because life is to be happy and to be experienced in a good way.
Yeah, absolutely. And one quote that I really love is leap and the net will be there. So
Nice
I know that there was a time in my life that when we were living in Ontario and my mom was living in BC and I was feeling very stuck. And I'm only telling the story because it kind of is really making me think of this and explains risk to me. And it's like I was just feeling very stuck in my life and wanted to change and I wanted to move out so I was closer to my mom. And so we quit our jobs, sold our house, moved out west with two young children, and everybody around us said to us, well, what are you going to do? Like, you don't have jobs to go to. I said, yeah, but sometimes you have to take a risk. If you know in your heart that that risk is the right one, sometimes you have to take it. And that's where that quote comes in is leap and it will be there. So even if it's a small risk, like you said, do something because doing nothing and not taking any risks in life does not allow you to grow and expand and keep venturing out on your life. So that's what I'm picking up with it.
Very nice. Nice card. It's a beautiful card too.
Very beautiful card.
Very beautiful card.
And as always, goes hand in hand. So, it's that. Okay, so the next deck that I chose are The Secrets of the Ancestors Oracle by Abiola Abrams. And the card that I chose is number 9, the loner, isolation and introspection.
Well,
Says, be still and know. The answers you seek are within. You're entering a time of deep self-reflection. Take a step back. Distance yourself from petty people, dramas, and issues. Between social media and obligations, the world can feel nonstop. The innermost cave holds the gold. The guru is within. A moment of solitude holds gems for you. This is not a time to plow forward. Take a beat and withdraw. The ancestry memory is the loner depicts an elder from the Karo people of Ethiopia. By keeping to themselves, the artistic and beautifully adorned Karo people have been able to maintain their way of life for over 500 years. There is strength to be gained from taking time away from others. The medicine is for some of your ancestors, being alone with their thoughts was the last thing they needed. My child, allow yourself to take some time when needed. So this is like the hermit card. Sorry, and it says, I trust my inner voice. So what I'm picking about with that is, I think this is right, is we need to take that self-reflection. And interesting with these cards that came before it is because when we isolate ourselves away and when we get out of
our own way.
our own way and distracting ourselves with social media and gossip and all of these different things. Sorry. Um, we have that time to do that introspection, to know what risks and what new things that we want to bring into our lives. So by taking that time to ourselves, it's important. So that's what I'm picking up with
Oh,
that.
totally. I totally agree with what you're saying there. That's true because like if with the card itself, when you take the time to be alone, you really do get some honest answers with yourself. There's always times when we get answers, we go, no, that's not the one I want. But most times the answer, if you take the time alone, is really spend some time and you keep spending some time by yourself. The answers are true. And you need to listen to those answers that are telling you, because if you don't, then you're going to be all mixed up and the risks that you're trying to take to make you better aren't going to be worth it. So is this one here just is so true. Isolate yourself a little bit. Let yourself see what you need to see. Because isolation also means rest. And oftentimes we need the rest. So if we take the time to rest, isolate yourself long enough to just lay there and think about things, read a book even as isolation. Just taking yourself away from the mass confusion around you, like Kim said, to let your own self breathe that fresh air and the relief that you need in order to see where you need to be going. So yeah, it's a beautiful card.
It is a beautiful card and
it certainly runs in with the other
it
ones.
really does. You just can't make this shit up.
You just can't. Okay, the next one both of mine were for Colette Baron-Reid. This one here is called the Crystal Spirits. And the card I picked was this pink sapphire. Okay, essential meaning.
Sorry.
Boo. Okay, the pink sapphire, the essential meaning is forgiveness, choosing to heal, acceptance and letting go, soothing the heart. Kind of sort of what we're talking about. Have you heard that forgiveness is a gift that you give yourself? Pink Sapphire's spirit message to you is not to concern yourself with the law of karma right now. For while your loving heart wants to see justice served for the good of all, this is the moment you are called to align yourself with the universal laws of choosing to heal yourself. It's a time to start the progress of forgiving those who did you harm, and that means deciding consciously what will not determine your story of who you are or what you have experienced, for you are a powerful storyteller and a co-creator, and you will tell a heroic tale of overcoming that which has caused you pain. Your willingness engaged in healing to free yourself from the past and soothe your heart is an awesome superpower. Pink Sapphire Spirit is here to as a reminder that you can do the work. The walking through the forge of fire and letting go of the pain will remake the strong, make you strong as steel with and moving forward. So do that. You will persist and you will embrace the wisdom that you are burned. Find the power to say never again. And that's true. It's coming off the reading at the moment, but it sort of goes into the isolation things. If there's things from the past that are still bothering you and you need to face them, you really need to go back there, even though they're a scary place, they seem like someplace you don't want to go. But sometimes you have to go back and face that fear. Take that risk of facing it because that's when you're going to find your honest answers of why you're holding yourself back right now and how you're going to help yourself to move forward. Tiny footsteps of what we need, like footsteps in the sand, to take finally tiny, tiny steps of where you need to be going. If you're really hesitant and leery of it, to taking that risk, take little steps for the risk, but move forward anyways. Pink sapphire to me is enlightenment. When I sometimes when I put white light around me, I also put pink around there because it's also for healing and love. So I put pink around myself at those times because maybe I'm in fear of something or feeling lost or my heart's broken or something. I put the pink around me to help me generate a better feeling so I can go with my feelings and find the answers I justly need for that. Find the power to say no, never again, to making the choice to heal yourself and forgive yourself for the not knowing any better. Positive things are to come, and you can rest assured that the conscious universe is your ally in this process of healing, acceptance, and forgiving. When they talk about forgiving, they say that you have to forgive the past in order to make the present. Now, forgiving is forgiving yourself for having to follow some of those rules that people have put in front of you, of their laws of what they figured you should do, but they were never yours. Forgiving yourself is because you followed it, but you forgave yourself because now you're not doing that anymore. You're going to forgive yourself because now you have come into a different space. You've taken the risks along the way. Be proud of the fact that you put strong feet on the ground, force yourself to move forward, to generate that good energy that you need to make you that whole person, because that's what you want to do. I'm not going to read any more of this one because I'm going to let Kimmy go on from that, because I think that sort of is.
Yep. No, I think that's perfect place to end. And it makes me think of a quote. There was a few things when you were talking about it, and it made me think of one is a quote that they say, feel the fear and do it anyways. So where you were saying, and when you're feeling those fears and needing to reconnect back into it, and I think this is the message that I want to get out is when you're feeling those fears and you're looking back on, maybe something that happened in your childhood or in an earlier relationship or what have it, it's like bear witness to the situation. You don't have to relive the situation,
Right.
but it's like you're watching the situation as if it's like a movie happening. And then you can bear witness to it to see the things that you need to take from that situation in order to give yourself the confidence and things like that to be able to move forward and face these fears to open yourself up. And like always coming from a place of love, because that was as soon as you brought it up, other than it looked like a nice ring. Like that's what I got with it, right? It's just such a love thing. And if you're always coming from the center of your love center, you cannot do wrong. And with the forgiveness thing too, I just wanted to touch on is when you forgive someone, obviously you don't forget the situation, but once you forgive someone, it frees you.
Yeah.
It doesn't free that other person, it just frees you. So, it's interesting how all these cards went so interestingly
Always.
together and made the story about, wanting to see these new days and, new dawns and, being conscious and expanding ourselves and taking these risks. So that's what I'm getting for.
Me too. Also, I get with it. Whoops, sorry. Uh, Also, what I get with it is because it's November and we're walking into the newness of the new year coming up here. November, it would be the time to start generating newness that you want to come into 2025. So if you're trying to release yourself and forgive yourself for all the things that you've done this year, years behind, whatever, past life even, this is a time to think about it. This is a time to think about what you want to let go of. And because you want to generate all these beautiful, wonderful things coming up into the new year of 25, like a repeat. But at the same time, it's important to repeat it because get rid of the shit, get rid of the crap, get rid of the stigmatisms around yourself right now, the energy that's itchy, picky, that kind of thing. This is the time to do it. Now, Halloween, to give you some fun and generate some, take the risk on Halloween too. You know, enjoy the time. Let the spirit of the holiday be with you so that you can start the new things that are coming
Yeah.
to you in the month of
Abs-
November. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I think that's a great message. And I think, to, like you were saying, of leaving the things behind and taking these risks and deciding where you're going to go, because wouldn't it be lovely to start the new year at a fresh slate and leave this crap from behind? So start taking those risks, even if it's just one little baby toe that you're sticking in. So,
Yeah.
I think, and I love what you said, the have fun, have Halloween. We also want to shout out to, as you'll see on the door back there, we have a dream catcher, and that was made from Jess. And she did an amazing job. It's all beaded, and it has, if you've seen the close up, it's got all of our colors in it for our brand. So we really do appreciate that.
That's just
And
beautiful.
we just love it. So
Yeah,
just wanted
thank
to
you,
get
Jesse. Should have had your card up here. But we'll try to put that in the notes here today too, that she took a long time to do this and was really, yeah, she really touched in with our colors and we really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks you, Jesse.
Yes, thank you. And everybody else, have a great November and
Happy Halloween.
happy Halloween. We'll see you next
Have
time.
some fun.